Okay, everybody. Start now.
Ramsø. Altså aftalen.
Der skal stå bag en, så han kan lave det der.
Good morning, everybody. We have a lot to do today, so I would like to start as planned. And first of all, I would like to give all of you a very warm welcome to Copenhagen. For the last few months, there has been much talking about peace in Ukraine, with meetings and pre-meetings and briefings about the meetings. And meanwhile, Russia continues its brutal attacks. It must be clear to everyone now, Russia will not stop until they are forced to do so. And they are a threat, not only to Ukraine, but to all of us. Today we have one major task ahead of us. We have to make our common Europe so strong that war against us becomes unthinkable. And we have to do it now. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends and colleagues, it's a great pleasure to welcome you here in Copenhagen. As you all know, this very forum was founded as a response by you, Emmanuel, to Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022, created to unite all of us. The purpose has not become less urgent or less relevant today. We have important discussions ahead of us, and none more urgent than the issue of European security. Dear Volodymyr, for almost 4 years, you and your countrymen has been defending Ukraine against a merciless full-scale Russian aggression. You are fighting with outstanding determination. And right now you are fighting for European security, holding back Putin, defending all Europeans. You have done what no one thought possible, and you support our steadfast support. We are around 50 leaders here today from all over Europe. We represent very different countries. We have our own interests, our own headaches, and our own wishes for the future. I know that for some of you, the threat from Russia is very clear and very present. For others, it still seems further away. But none of us can no longer be naive. The war was never just about Ukraine. It is about Europe. All our nations, all our citizens, our values, and our freedom. And please just take one look at the history of our continent. From the expansion of the Russian Empire to Soviet tanks rolling across several borders during the Cold War, shattering hopes of freedom. And recent history tells us the exact same story. So why shouldn't it happen again? Russia is now converting into a war economy, using every opportunity to intimidate, to threaten, and to divide us. Unfortunately enabled by China, with soldiers from North Korea and drones from Iran. And I see no signs that Putin and Russia's imperial fever dream stops with Ukraine. On the positive side, many European nations are ready to do what is necessary to support peace in Ukraine and in Europe. But peace with Russia can only be achieved through strength. We have to strengthen Ukraine and weaken Russia with more sanctions. We have to be able to finance the armed forces in Ukraine. All of us have to deliver more weapons, more ammunition, and we have to do it faster. Nowhere it will make a greater impact for European security than at the front lines in Ukraine. It's not charity, what we're doing in Ukraine. It is a direct defense of our continent. And at the same time, we have to rearm ourselves, Europe. I know that almost everybody have increased their military budgets massively over the last years. And we have taken very important steps in the European Union, in Europe in general, and in NATO. So, in other words, we are on our way, but we have to move much faster. We have to learn from Ukraine, your sense of urgency, building an incredible defense industry in just a couple of years. We must take that lesson and we have to speed up. But building a stronger military is not enough. We need more than that. Because Russia has intensified its use of hybrid means in Europe. And we face an enemy that uses all kinds of tools. One day it is military drones. Another day it's migrants being pushed across the borders. They are targeting critical infrastructure. We see the fight with misinformation, all with the purpose to create uncertainty and lack of trust, and attempts to interfere in democratic elections. Security is, of course, not only a question about military means. It is a matter of our hearts and minds. And in a time where democracy is under pressure around the world, we need to show that we deliver for our societies. That we as political leaders are able to help our people to tackle their challenges in everyday life. Our citizens need jobs and economic security. They need healthcare, education for their kids, affordable food, opportunities for their future. That is why we need to build a stronger Europe economically as well. We have to create the jobs for the future. We have to reduce our dependencies. We have to invest in new technologies and source the critical raw materials that are necessary. And by the way, we have to take much stronger action on migration. We have to strengthen our borders. Uncontrolled migration is changing our societies, and it is our citizens that pays the price. Who can enter and stay in our country? It has to be a democratic decision. Before I pass the floor, there is one thing I want all of you to remember. Back in 2022, when this political family was established, when Russia launched its full-scale invasion in Ukraine, Putin wanted at least three things. He wanted to capture Kyiv, he wanted to overthrow the Ukrainian government, and he wanted to tear Europe apart. Today, after almost 4 years of full-scale war, after spending billions of dollars sacrificing thousands of Russian lives, Putin has not succeeded in any of that. The war is a Russian failure. First and foremost, thanks to you, Volodymyr, to every brave Ukrainian man and woman fighting for our freedom, but also to every nation supporting you. Europe is strong when we decide to be, and we need to make it much stronger. So therefore, dear colleagues, welcome once again, and let us use this opportunity to provide the next concrete solutions to show the way forward for Europe. Thank you, and I would like to pass on the floor to you. Antonio.
Eh bien, bonjour. Tout d'abord, je veux remercier Mette Frederiksen pour nous accueillir ici, à Copenhagen, pour cette 6e réunion de notre communauté politique européenne. Et tout d'abord, je veux féliciter Maia Sandu, la présidente de Moldavie, par l'écrasante victoire que les forces démocratiques et pro-européennes ont obtenue dimanche dernier en Moldavie. Cette victoire, c'est une victoire pas seulement de Moldavie, c'est une victoire de la démocratie qui a démontré sa capacité de résister à les manœuvres d'interférence des forces étrangères. Et une victoire des libertés des Moldaves de dire qu'ils veulent choisir et peuvent choisir son destin. Et c'est aussi une victoire de notre Europe parce que le choix était très clair dans la direction européenne de la Moldavie. Je veux aussi féliciter le président d'Azerbaïdjan et le premier ministre d'Arménie. Je crois que la paix que vous avez obtenue, c'est un grand moment pour notre Europe. Et ça démontre que c'est possible de bâtir la paix et qu'il faut qu'on fasse notre travail pour la paix. C'est pour ça qu'on soutient l'Ukraine. Parce que soutenir l'Ukraine, ce n'est pas soutenir la guerre. C'est soutenir le droit de l'Ukraine à une paix durable, à une paix juste. Et c'est pour ça qu'on doit se mobiliser tous et toutes pour continuer à soutenir l'Ukraine. Du point de vue militaire, du point de vue politique, du point de vue diplomatique, du point de vue économique. Parce que ce qui est en jeu en Ukraine, ce n'est pas seulement le droit de l'Ukraine à être un pays libre et souverain. C'est en fait le droit international, c'est en fait les valeurs inscrites dans la Charte des Nations Unies qui sont en cause. Le droit à un pays souverain, à l'intégrité territoriale, au respect des frontières internationalement reconnues. Et c'est pour ça qu'on doit se bâtir. Parce que si la force de la Russie veut vaincre, tient une victoire en Ukraine, aucun pays au monde peut rester sûr sur la capacité du droit international de faire face à la menace de la force et à la menace de la guerre. C'est sûrement pour ça que dans toute notre réunion, sécurité et résilience ont été toujours présents dans notre ordre du jour. Et toujours, une fois encore, l'intérêt des différents leaders sur les sujets de sécurité et résilience a été tel qu'on a même besoin d'organiser 2 tables rondes sur ces sujets. Et ça veut dire qu'il nous faut faire un effort pour bâtir une défense collective, pour assurer la sécurité des Européens, pour finir avec la guerre en Ukraine, pour finir avec la menace de la Russie sur notre continent, parce qu'il nous faut concentrer dans d'autres enjeux, notamment le développement de notre de notre continent et de nos sociétés. Sécurité, ça veut dire aussi sécurité économique. Il nous faut sécuriser notre chaîne de valeur, l'accès à matières primaires critiques, mais aussi la sécurité de notre chaîne de valeur. Et évidemment, on ne peut pas ignorer des sujets comme migration qui sont au cœur de notre débat dans notre société. On est une plateforme informelle et on veut le rester. Mais si on regarde ce qu'on a fait dans les 5 dernières réunions, on peut identifier que dans ces cadres de la communauté politique européenne, on a plusieurs projets. Le premier a été la coalition F-16 qui a mobilisé un conjoint de volontés et de pays pour soutenir la capacité de défense aérienne de l'Ukraine. On a travaillé beaucoup sur la cybersécurité. On a travaillé beaucoup aussi pour supporter Moldova, et je crois que ça c'est quelque chose qui nous honore à tous. Et aujourd'hui, la France prend une nouvelle initiative de bâtir une coalition contre la drogue. Ça c'est une question centrale qu'on doit prendre en grande attention. Parce que c'est une demande qui est soutenue par un grand problème de santé publique, mais qui en fait engage tout un réseau de criminalité qui défie la sécurité de notre continent, de nos sociétés, et qui fait accroître la violence dans notre société. Donc, je crois que cette formule de la communauté politique européenne, qui ne veut pas remplacer ni notre alliance militaire, ni l'Union européenne, ni remplacer le Conseil d'Europe, ni de remplacer d'autres institutions où on est ensemble, c'est une communauté qui est la démonstration qu'on a une volonté politique d'ensemble. Et ça, c'est très, très, très important, et plus important que jamais dans le monde d'aujourd'hui, où plusieurs acteurs internationaux essayent de bouleverser l'ordre international. Quelques-uns par la force de la guerre, d'autres mettre en cause les règles du commerce international, d'autres mettant en cause des engagements collectifs qu'on a besoin pour faire face au changement climatique. Mais nous, ici, tous ensemble, on peut dire que ceux qui sont dans l'Union européenne, ceux qui ne sont pas dans l'Union européenne, ceux qui veulent rentrer dans l'Union européenne, ceux qui ont voulu sortir de l'Union européenne, ceux qui ne veulent pas ni rentrer, ni rester, ni être en l'Union européenne, tous ensemble, on est Europe et ensemble, on veut travailler ensemble pour la paix, le développement et la prospérité de notre société et de nos citoyens. Donc, merci beaucoup. Thank you very much, dear Mette. I think everybody is very, very glad that how you hosting us here in Copenhagen. Thank you very much.
The floor to you, Volodymyr.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, dear Mette. Dear friends, we are all now in a new reality, and everyone, I think, understands this, even those who may not want to admit it yet. The recent drone incidents across Europe are a clear sign that Russia still feels bold enough to escalate this war. And it was never just about Ukraine. Russia has always aimed to break the West and Europe in particular. Today, their strategy is simple: to divide Europe, to ignite arguments, to prevent us from finding common ground. And I believe we must do the exact opposite of what Russia expects. We must act together, and we must act with strength. First, our guys are already here in Denmark, and there are experienced Ukrainians who know how to detect and shoot down attack drones, and they have already begun deploying their mission, and we are ready to share this experience with you, partners, and this is just the beginning, the first step on the path toward an effective drone wall to protect all of Europe. Please, let's work together on coordinated solutions that will make this happen. Second, when we talk about the drone wall, we are talking about all of Europe, not just on one country. If the Russians dare to launch drones against Poland or violate the airspace of northern European countries, it means this can happen anywhere. In Western Europe, in the south, we need fast and effective response and defense forces that know how to deal with drones. And please keep joining the Pearl program. It really helps our defense. Some countries are already part of it, thank you, and it's very important that others join too. This program supports not only us, but also strengthens ties between Europe and the United States of America. Third, we must remember that the root of all these problems is Russia's war. Russia still has the resources to keep fighting. And that's not right. But we know the right steps. A 19th package of sanctions against Russia for the war is urgently needed. We also need to seriously think how to truly down Russia's entire oil trade infrastructure, because that's what fuels their war machine. Right now, we are seeing that even tankers already under sanctions are still being used by Russia. That has to stop. And let's also place more sanctions against captains and crews of shadow fleet vessels, as well as against the owners of the relevant companies. And we need to think about placing sanctions on Russian oil terminals and the rest of their mainland infrastructure. We should also support President Trump's call to stop buying Russian oil here in Europe. It's short-sighted to go against the USA. And the guys from Hungary need to hear this clearly. Energy from the US and other partners can fill the gap on the European market. Next, we need to finally complete 100% the work on security guarantees. We have already done a lot, and I'm grateful for that. Thanks to you, dear leaders. And now we need to put everything on paper and fully prepare every detail. Security guarantees for Ukraine can already work now. They directly support our army. But overall, every nation in Europe deserves real security guarantees. The model of the security guarantees that works for us will work for you too. And we propose to eventually expand all effective models to others. And finally, I want to congratulate, as speakers before me, I want to congratulate Maia Sandu on the victory. Maia, my congratulations in Moldova's parliamentary elections. These were very, very important elections. Europe has won. Moldova has won. And thank you to everyone who helped to secure fair elections. Now it's time to move forward. Supporting Moldova, Ukraine, and the Western Balkans on their path to EU membership is critical. We need real progress. Ukraine has completed the screening process. We are ready to open Cluster 1, and this must be done just as agreed. This will definitely strengthen the overall situation. Thank you so much. Slava Ukraini. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Volodymyr. And now we are trying something new in this format. So therefore, I will ask Prime Minister Keir Starmer and President Emmanuel Macron and President Maia Sandu and Prime Minister Donald Tusk to go to the podium, where Keir will lead us through a discussion between our four colleagues.